like this is a pretty clear indication to us that the markets are still looking kind of bearish. They're trying to push down, and in general, the mainstream kind of news media around these types of price movements are going to be pointing at like real world news to kind of find some sort of reason for this that isn't just in technical analysis. And we got a pretty good chunk of news this last couple of days here, where the Treasury has proposed regulations. So it's nothing is set in stone yet, but the proposition was published that were regulations for how the USA should regulate the crypto market. And it basically, I don't know, I read through this and it basically demonstrates a lack of understanding of how the crypto markets work. But in a nutshell,
no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise there. But in a nutshell, what the proposed regulations kind of are saying is that basically any application in crypto, like decentralized platforms or centralized exchanges, any application that allow for a user to interact with their wallet, like sign into the application with their wallet, even if it is to facilitate a peer-to-peer transaction, any one of these application that facilitates such activity is categorized as a broker under this regulatory framework, which is nonsense. I mean,
so the language is very wide and unclear.
It's extreme. Yeah. It's basically, it's like Mark II of the everything that isn't Bitcoin is a security approach here. So it really demonstrates they don't know what it is that they're regulating. They don't really understand the ability to actually enforce any of this stuff, because I mean, realistically, the crypto markets, much more so than the US stock market and equity markets, are an international network. And a lot of these applications run on public blockchains that are, maintained by an international network of participants. And they are deployed onto these networks in a way that isn't centralized, where the SEC or a governing body of any sort can't just come knocking on your door and be like, hey, this is breaking regulation, shut it down. You can't really shut down protocols once they're deployed onto the blockchains. And right. with this specific language within these guidelines for these regulations, it would include like everything in crypto. So there's
so even your wallet.
Yeah, like your like MetaMask, basically, where you can send from one wallet to another wallet just using this open source wallet software. That would be classified as a broker. If you're like, there's NFT markets out there, like the Stoner Cats, for example, where you can like own the Stoner Cat NFT.
Oh, with like Ashton Kutcher,
and Mila Kunis are
Mila
like
Kunis, yeah.
They're it's a fun project, they're embracing the technology to try something new effectively. But what it does is, they sell these NFT assets, and then those assets you sign into their website, and then that gives you access to watch this show that they're producing. The only way to watch the show is if you own the asset. But with these regulations, the framework effectively says, if I have to log into the website using a wallet, you are a broker. And that just doesn't compute really with the reality of what's happening in the crypto space and the decentralized markets. So
Stoner Cats would essentially be
they're a broker
to go through.
and being a broker has long-reaching implications. You need quite a few very specialized licenses to operate as a broker within the United States. Right. So this would shut down everything effectively. And like I said, you can't shut down most of this stuff. So very disappointed, honestly, to see. It's been years and years in the making. We've been, as the crypto community, at least as people who are participating, actively in these crypto markets, we've been asking for clarity, for guidance from the regulatory bodies here to kind of give us, direction of what is and what isn't allowed. And it's kind of disappointing to me to see, the framework here being published by the Treasury to, propose these regulations that just demonstrates such a lack of understanding. Right. It's kind of sad, but
they're just casting a wide net, I feel,
exactly.
Trying to
it feels like they're
clear
pushing
the way before like BlackRock and Fidelity and all these big players
exactly
take
and
control.
Once you got the big players, especially in the United States, that's kind of how it works. Like once the big players have their foothold, then the legislation will change into a favorable environment for them to flourish. But before they're in the market, they're basically stomping everything out, it feels like.